Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting edition of Omnibros live on a Thursday night. Tonight, we're going to talk some cool manga releases, some solicits, and some other fun stuff. So thank you for joining. Thank you for liking, commenting, and doing all that wonderful stuff that you guys do. It's me, Gio from Manga Geekdom, and I'm joined by the insufferable Omnibus Collector. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. Thank you.
We're all good. Sorry for the live viewers. We got caught up in the green room talking some interesting stuff, but we're here now, and that's what matters. So thank you all so very much for joining and tuning in. Let's give a shout out to our sponsor for tonight's broadcast, and that is, of course, InStockTrades.com, making tonight's broadcast happen. It's your one-stop shop for all things collected editions. You get your omnibus, trade paperback, hardcovers, manga, and so much more for great discounted prices that range from 25 all the way to 55% off at times with the deals of the week. Of course, free shipping in the US at $50 or more. That's great. And loyalty discount adds an extra 2% discount to your order if you make it on a week-by-week basis. Great packaging, wonderful customer service. That is InStockTrades.com, our lovely sponsor. Also, let me remind you that at some point during the month, you're going to have to tune into every broadcast to figure out when it's going to happen. It should be soon. We will be doing our traditional or monthly gift card giveaway valued at $50. Open to anybody out there in the world. All you got to do is show up, hang out with us, and we'll pick out a winner by the end of that stream. So that is all courtesy of InStockTrades.com. Let me show the main website here real quick. Here we go. All right. So here are your current deals of the week, which we revealed on Monday. So if you want to get the lowdown, you're going to get the scoop before they go live on Tuesdays at noon Eastern Standard Time. You got to tune into the Monday broadcast. Here we have DC Finest Green Lantern and DC Finest Justice Society of America, both at 55% off. You got that Empowered Volume 12 at 46% off, Excalibur Epic Collection at 46% off from Marvel, and let me get to the manga in a minute. Silver Surfer Epic Collection Volume 8, also from Marvel at 46% off. From Kodansha, we have Initial D Omnibus Volume 4, which I took advantage of and grabbed it for a great price. Look at that, $12. I'm not going to pay $23. I'll pay $12.64. Thank you, In Stock Trades. Of course, you got your other new releases. I am not going to fanboy like I did on Monday, which for some was extremely annoying, but I did pick this up, and I urge everybody to pick it up. If you want to see a hyperactive, annoying Geo, then you might want to tune into Monday's broadcast when I just talked nonstop about this damn book. So I definitely do recommend Aquaman by Peter David Omnibus. That's a solid omnibus to get right there. Shout out. And your top sellers. Although it's a little annoying to not see Aquaman here at the top sellers. Come on, guys. Go buy that book. So it makes it to the top 5, please.
I haven't gotten the chance to get mine yet. So if it's not a top seller, that means there's a copy waiting for me.
Heck yeah. So there it is, folks. InStockTrades.com. Cue the mouth heart, but Jess isn't here, so no sound. Sorry.
I need to pull mine out of my desk so I can do that. But I've been using the desk as Lego.
Right.
Yeah. I don't have it right now.
Actually, wait, we're going to do something live. Hold on, because, it's the holidays. We're officially in December. We're on countdown mode to get to 2025, right? We got 4 more weeks. So I changed up the background, of course, but let me change something else. Hold on. Let's do like super dark green. Where the heck is the green? There we go. All right. So you got the whole red and green Christmas vibes. I would like to get a moving background, but I can't find anything like Christmassy with maybe snow or something. If you guys know where I can find stuff like that, let me know. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Awesome background. Thank you. Love the winter theme background. We're gonna do these more often, so I'm gonna have to find a theme for January and continue doing that each month, having new stuff. Labruski just hit 200 subs, big milestone. Hell yeah, dude, keep it going. You get that momentum now. You gotta keep going because you did 200. I know you can do 3, 4, 5, and so on and so forth. So, got it, dude. Hell yeah. Congratulations. Look at that. Aquaman. Hey, my boy. Thank you so much. Might get the Peter David Aquaman omnibus. Maybe. You know what, Warren? I'll take it. I know, well, not with me, but with Omnibros and other chats, you get into like hot takes, and I've heard about these hot takes. But I appreciate the maybe. That means a lot. Thank you.
I like to rag on Warren for the hot takes. So, but you know, if you're at least willing to give Aquaman a try,
Yeah, maybe it ain't too bad, you know. People were annoyed. Shame on them. We got some dislikes, and I get it. I like to ruffle feathers. Last Monday, Riley, I insulted the He-Man and Thundercats community, and that was amazing. I loved every second of it.
was there a He-Man or Thundercats book that had come out at the same
I
time?
think Thundercats, but I can't remember why we brought up the subject of He-Man, and I'm not a fan of the shows whatsoever. Like the characters are cool, but sitting down and watching episodes of both shows, nah, I'm good. And that the Monday crowd is very different from the Thursday crowd, so they were not too pleased with my me insulting these beloved 80s franchises. Dems the breaks.
Handle the heat, get out of the kitchen.
Right. Speaking of heat, we're going to talk about some disturbing shonen manga that just debuted. 2 specifically. We got Asura's Verdict and Ryota Killed His Brother. Real subtle names right there. I read them, and I think this will be the final first impressions for the year. These came out either this week or last week, and they're pretty interesting. But we're gonna get to that in a minute. Let's see. Dragon and Chameleon is fun. Anyone reading it?
I did. I got. They sent me a copy a little while ago, and I posted briefly on Twitter saying that I really liked it. It is a really fun read, and I'm assuming it was Morgan from. She's the social media person and marketing manager over at Square Enix. She responded to my post saying how much I liked it, saying like it just gets even better from there. So I'm really looking forward to getting subsequent volumes. If she was putting her stamp of approval behind it, then I trust that it does indeed get better.
All right. Oh, there it is. I don't like 80s anything. Hey,
like new wave music, come on.
One of my all-time favorite movies came out in 1987, the year I was born, and that is the first Predator movie. That is an awesome 80s movie. I can watch that every single month and not get tired of it.
That movie,
that's a cool thing from the 80s.
That movie stands up really well because we watched it. I think like March or April or something. We went through all of the Alien and Predator movies, and like the original Predator holds up so well in like comparison to a lot of the older stuff. But also, I know that there's a lot of people who, I think Omar is one, who's a fan of Predator 2. I've tried. I just do not like that stuff.
As a kid, I didn't know it was like, I think it was more violent than the first one, and it had sex scenes in it, and like what? And then all the different actors are just sweating it out because it's what is it, 100 degrees in LA because of global warming or whatever.
But it was just, it's weird. It's a weird movie because like the majority of it is like just
like
street crime in LA.
Right.
And there just happens to be a predator there killing people.
Which I guess, metaphor for senseless crime, I guess, in the concrete jungle. I don't know.
It's so weird.
Alien and Predator were both Oh my god. I thought we had a thing going with the Aquaman omnibus. What's happening? You're losing me. A Thundercats omnibus was just announced, but I think that was too well. I don't mind an omnibus. I don't mind the comics. It's just the cartoon that I'm like, whatever.
I never got into Thundercats. I really like the aesthetic of the series.
Right. I do too. But it's just getting through these episodes, they're not that well written, the majority of them.
Sure.
Sorry. They were made to sell toys.
That's true. But
no New Wave. Sorry, Riley.
You can have good stories in some of these things that were made to sell toys.
Right.
Not everything is complete crap. Like some of it's well written.
Speaking of, we're getting 2 Predator movies next year. Hell yes. Sign me up. And that Alien TV show as well.
The Alien Earth.
Yeah. And Romulus just came out on 4K. I haven't seen the movie, but I don't know if I'm going to go tomorrow or in the following weeks. I do want to get that 4K disc.
I really, really liked Romulus. It's not perfect. It has, its flaws here and there.
Right.
But I really liked it. And I think it's a really good return to form after the 2 like high sci-fi movies that Ridley Scott tried to do, which I enjoyed. I'll be honest, I enjoyed Prometheus, I enjoyed Alien Covenant, and like what he was trying to do with that stuff. But it's nice to take that franchise back
to its roots.
Yeah, to the lane where it started and go back to its roots. Of course, the one thing that's like a big drawback, from the movie is I agree. I think it's up there as one of the best with the original. But I think one of the drawbacks is obviously like using the AI for I forget the actor's name, but who also played Bilbo in the original.
Homie, what's his name? Wait a minute.
But he's in there, and since he is passed, they use like a AI generated
Ian Holm.
Yeah, Ian Holm on the face of the android to like have his character there, even though it wasn't his exact character. It was just another robot model with the same appearance, so they didn't have to use that.
Yeah, I can see that.
That was the one drawback, but it didn't take me completely out like it did for some people.
Right.
So if you can at least be fine with that, I think you'll go in enjoying it.
Thundercats 20-something reboot was amazing. The anime one, absolutely. I love that one. I gave away my DVDs to upgrade to the Blu-ray, and I completely forgot to do it. So thank you for reminding me. I'll add it to the list to Blu-rays I need to get. Same. I like the characters from Thundercats, but the show, no. Let's go. Look, a lot of 80s stuff. Look at that. Princess Bride also came out in 87. That's a near perfect movie.
I just bought a copy on Blu-ray of Princess Bride. I haven't seen it in so long. So I bought a copy because they had it when we went to half price last weekend. And I'm excited to revisit it.
Back to the Future for Kane.
Oh, classic.
And
the original Indiana Jones trilogy being in the 80s, I think was Empire.
Blade Runner, one of my favorite sci-fi movies of all time. Thank you, Bob, for reminding me. Yes, I love Blade Runner.
Was Empire in the 80s, or was Return of the Jedi the only of the original Star Wars that was in the 80s? I don't remember the year on that.
Empire Strikes Back came out in 1980. Yeah,
nice, barely made it. But I think that like when you go back to a lot of horror and sci-fi movies, the 80s is such a golden period for that because they had so many great developments in technology, but it was before they really started leaning on like CG and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
once you get into the 90s, you get a lot of these really crappy looking movies that did not age well at all, because they're like, the first thing that pops in my head, for instance, being Spawn. Like, if you watch Spawn then, it was crazy, but watching it now, it's aged terribly. But on the other hand, if you watch the original Alien, which I know Alien was 70 something, or you watch the old the original Star Wars trilogy, so much of
Mhm.
it looks a lot better because they're using models and practical effects and prosthetics and stuff for these characters, rather than using CG that ages poorly and almost immediately.
Right. Uh, James, what are you doing? I was watching the other day, and this has nothing to do with manga, but whatever. Our audience does not care about the random tangents that we go off on. I was watching the John Williams documentary that came out, the new one, and great documentary. Really emotional. I enjoyed it, and they go with they talk about all the most important films that he worked on. And when they got to the ET segment, I have to admit I kind of fast forwarded because I can't stand ET.
Year.
So anybody out here that's new, I haven't talked about it in a while, but old school Omnibro fans would know that if I ever see ET in person, I would punch it in the face because one, it is disgusting, and two, I hate it, and I do not like the movie at all, and it scared me as a kid. So same with the Minions. I hate the Minions. If I see a Minion, I want to punch it. That sounds disturbing, but I'm okay mentally. Don't worry. Ooh, oh, Warren, let's go. It's like a
You have
cast,
the one.
and then I reeled you back in. Let's go.
It there's like the Venn diagram of like,
Yeah,
it's like all the stuff that like y'all love and hate, and then the one little section of like overlapping is like hating ET. I don't hate ET. I can't join you on that one.
sorry.
But but I'm not offended by your hate for ET. You can sit there and hate as you desire.
Hate ET. ET was just dumb as a movie when I was a kid. Okay. No, wait. OG the Thing. Hell yeah.
I've been wanting to watch that again recently, and I almost suggested it the other night when we were trying to figure out what to watch. And then we didn't even watch a movie the other night. We just like
That happens.
played It Takes Two or something. Or
Never
watch.
watched.
I think we were watching a show.
Nice. Never
Warren,
watched Indiana Jones.
you won't like it, Warren. It's from the 80s.
I think if you watch it now, you're probably not going to enjoy it, even though you should, because it's an awesome trilogy.
And cut it at that. Just
Right. I mean, you could watch the fifth one. It's not as bad as the fourth one, but you're not gonna like it.
I don't know, dude. I think, in my opinion, I think the fifth one might have been worse.
The last part is such a fever dream that I remember dreaming that happened to me instead of what was happening in the movie. And I thought, what is happening? Okay, that ending was wild.
It was boring.
Most of it was a little boring.
It was so difficult for me to like hold my attention.
Right.
It was so boring. And like, I remember, and maybe the difference is that when I watched that one, it was at home, and when I watched Crystal Skull, it was at the movie theater, and so I had more attention to it. But like, Crystal Skull is stupid, but it's goofy, and I can be a little bit more forgiving. But the Dial of Destiny was just boring and dumb, so I apologize. Couldn't do it.
The guy that designed the puppet for ET was a renowned horror FX guy, so it makes sense that people would find it repulsive. I was scared of that damn alien monster puppet atrocity back when I was a kid.
In a attempt to come back around to manga, I plucked my haul. I believe.
Yes, let's do that, please. What's your haul?
This is everything that I got since the last week. Some of it is new, some of it is just catching up on things. So I've got a few books from Yen Press that I picked up. Volume 7 of Honey Lemon Soda. They've been putting out stuff for the anime that's coming out, which I think today I read will be 12 episodes, which is surprising because it's a long running series. I think it has more than 20 volumes in Japan. So you could have done a full 24 episode season, but they didn't.
Most of the time, and sorry to cut you off, most of the time they get not tired. They get in the mentality in Japan that the 12 episodes just act as a way to promote the manga. And if it does well for their standards, then they'll consider maybe doing a second season down the line. So now it's just 12 episodes, no matter what show it is.
It's weird.
Sorry, go ahead. My bad.
Oshinoko Volume 8. So this is the halfway point because I believe the ending is meant to be with Volume 16. Right. Shy Volume 8. This is still ongoing, and we're nowhere near caught up on that one. So that's Yen Press. From Kodansha, I believe these were the only 3 that I got this week. Medalist Volume 5. Suzume Volume 2. And To Your Eternity Volume, what is this, 20 now? 21. Yeah. Oh, wow. Chugging right along on that one. But we're caught up, I think. So it'll be a while before we get any more. As is typical, I have more from Viz Media. Seraph of the End, Volume 31. And Twin Star Exorcists, Volume 32. And then a bunch from the Signature line, Mobile Suit Gundam Thunderbolt, Volume 22. Trillion Game, Volume 2. Hirayasumi, Volume 3. Battle Royale Enforcers, Volume 2. Asadora, Volume 8. It's been a minute since 7, right? And After God, which who was it in the chat that was asking about this one?
Might have been Bob. Bob, did you ask for After God?
So I did finally get it. So I haven't read it yet because I just got it like a day ago or something, but I will hopefully read it in the next week or something like that. So I can let you know my feelings if you haven't picked it up yet, hopefully on the next week's show. Right. And the final stack is everyone else. And I got a bunch of stuff from 7 Seas as well, but I have it already on my shelf, so I didn't pick them out. But from Titan, we have Alpi the Soul Sender Volume 5.
Nice.
Was this the last one?
Volume 5, I think 2 more.
2 more. Okay. So that one from One Piece Books, Parallel World Pharmacy Volume 6. And from Alien Books, Fake Rebellion Volume 2. I think this was the last one I needed to get caught up with all their releases. This one is something I didn't know about from a publisher I didn't know about. And this is the Kafka manga collection.
Oh my God.
Nishioki Kyodai from Pushkin Press. I don't think Pushkin has done any other manga releases, which is why I didn't know about this because they're not a manga publisher. And it's funny because the cover is on this side as if it's a English book, but when you open it, they tell you that that's the last page, so you have to flip and read from the back.
Oh my God.
So I guess because they're not a manga publisher, they don't typically do manga.
That's way too complicated.
Yeah, they turned it backwards on the inside, so you read it as you would a normal manga. I made a joke earlier on Twitter that this is not because it includes the metamorphosis that I believe would inarguably, in my opinion, be Kafka's most famous story, is the metamorphosis. So I joked on Twitter saying, I don't think this is the metamorphosis manga that most people talk about online.
H-Field has it.
Hey.
They're a mangaka duo, brother and sister, actually.
Oh, gotcha.
Did not know that. Cool.
Shout out. So I grabbed that one. And then from Tokyo Pop, I got a few things. Smart and Courageous Child. This one came out somewhat recently, and I'd been meaning to pick it up. And finally, I was able to get a copy from Libris. This one is full color throughout the book, so it's a really nice looking volume, and I've heard really great things about it, so I'm excited to dig in. And then Something a little bit different, but I grabbed like all of their Nightmare Before Christmas releases because
Nice.
why not? They
Why
re-released
not? Yeah.
the adaptation of. Oop, that's not the adaptation. They re-released the manga adaptation in a large trim full color edition. So this previously was in a like a standard. That's not standard. Um, a standard trim size.
Right. Right.
They did it in the full like magazine trim size, more or less, and then gave it the full color treatment. And the colors look really nice. They look uh, pretty good for.
Is the manga like a retelling, or does it continue the story from the movie?
This is a retelling that like is just the story from the original movie or the
Right.
original book, whichever you want to go with. And then they also released Mirror Moon, and this is a comic. It was a 5-issue comic by Mallory Reeves, Gabriella Chinello, or Chineo, and Natalia Torretta. This was published in single issue format and then recollected. And I have not read this yet, but I want to say that it takes place after the events of the movie, because at the beginning you see Jack waking up and thinking that the stuff was a dream.
Hmm.
So if anyone's already read this, you can correct me if I'm wrong. But I do, from a glance, believe it takes place after the movie. And then there's the Battle for the Pumpkin King, which is a prequel. It'll come soon. Don't worry, you'll get it. I waited a little bit for mine. So, but this one's a prequel that shows, I believe it's a story of like when Jack and Oogie Boogie used to be friends, and then they were both kind of competing for the title of Pumpkin King, and so you get to see how Jack became the Pumpkin King and why he and Oogie Boogie are no longer besties.
If you think about it, that's a similar story to Megatron and Optimus.
And then the last is the deluxe edition of Zero's Journey, which they did in a nice
Oh, look at that. That's
edition.
awesome.
This is like the same trim size as a Dark Horse Deluxe edition.
Wow.
So they went all out on the Zero's Journey spin-off.
Yeah. All for the ghost doggy.
It is and it's a $50 book, but I got it off of a Libris for close to 30. So if you're a fan of Nightmare Before Christmas, this is a really good. I was saying this was from a Libris. I had a really good experience. I made 2 orders with them so far, and mostly I don't have complaints. The prices were lower than, excuse me, Crunchyroll. I think IST prices still beat them. So if I can get something at IST, I'll go with them first. But for everything else, like it's the cheapest option, which is my most important factor. Free shipping on orders of $40 or more, so it's not even the $50 that IST requires. And they take a little bit of time to ship, but if you're like me, you've got a stack of books to read, so it's not the end of the world to have to wait. And the shipping was mostly really solid. There's like my copy of Oshinoko Volume 8 has a little ding on it, but it's not a big deal. I'm sure if I reached out, then I could see about like getting a refund. I don't know. I'm not even going to mess with it. It's not worth it. But yeah, if you're a fan of just looking at this one again, this is a full color edition of the Zero's Journey, which I had the smaller edition.
Oh, yeah.
I believe it was black and white. So this has been fully colored. It's just so funny that they made this a deluxe hardcover.
Out of everything from that franchise, that's the one that gets
everything from Tokyo Pop in general.
right.
Like that, this is the one. But I guess because if you've looked at the way that like this one, like it says New York Times bestseller. This sold like hotcakes. This sold gangbusters. This
Right.
Battle of the Pumpkin King. It was on because when we would look at those lists of all the top sellers, this was on there for a long time. So it doesn't surprise me that they did that, and it wouldn't surprise me if they did another one for like the other comics and stuff. Like they're gonna milk that franchise as much as they can at this point, and you know what? That's fine. Whatever.
Go Tokyo Pop, do it. Hell yeah.
That was my recent haul and my recent reads. I have caught up. I was 3 2-in-1s behind on Tokyo Revengers, so I caught up on that. Had a lot of fun with that, and I'm in the final arc now, and we've got 2 more volumes coming out. The next one coming out is another 2-in-1 in, I think, next month, January, and then the final volume will be a 3-in-1, I believe, coming out in March. And then I caught up with the 2 volumes out so far of the spin-off, the letter from Keisuke Baji. Now I'm reading the parody spin-off, the Todai Revengers. So doing a full catch-up on those. And I really love Tokyo Revengers. I know a lot of people weren't happy with the way it ended. And I mean, I haven't read the ending yet, so I can't say directly how I feel about it. But for me, it's very rare that an ending sours my feelings of an entire series that I enjoyed.
Right.
So I've read what happens. I just haven't read the actual story. So I know what happens. And when I read it, I was like, that seemed like it would obviously be what happens at the end. So I don't think I'm going to be upset with it, but that's what I've been reading lately.
Man, with Tokyo Revengers, I'm up to date with the anime, but I have not finished reading the manga. I would not recommend the anime. Started out really strong, and then it got progressively worse with the animation, not the story, because the story is the same thing.
Yeah.
But I would still recommend the manga over the original over the anime, because that's season 3 covered. I can't remember the name of the arc where they're fighting in the warehouse with the shipping containers.
The end of the story arc before the final arc.
Right. So
and I don't remember what it's called, but yeah,
that is the majority of season 3. And at one point they start fighting, and they just reuse the same animation over and over, where you see panning shots of the cannon fodder fighting each other, of the different gangs. And whenever they had to do a cutaway, it would be the same animation over and over and over for multiple episodes. And this was like Dragon Ball Z style pacing, where the fights took up the majority of the 12 episodes for that season. It was ridiculous. So I hope they do a season 4. They haven't announced anything, but I would like to think that they want to finish it, animated. But we'll see. Can they get milk from Jack Skellington? He's all bones. It's all calcium. I got one small haul, just 2 books. Sorry to disappoint everybody. I got volume 3 of Snow White and the Red Hare, which I've been slowly getting. Like a couple, like 2 months, every 2 months, I'll get one volume of this and Banana Fish. So I got volume 3 of that. I'm not in any rush to get these super quick. It's just I at least wanted the first major arc for both. So that's all I got. Let's see. Question: this monster wants to eat me. Anyone recommend or not? I have a video on it. If you want to check it out on my channel, I put that out spring of this year.
I don't think I've read that.
I'm not gonna spoil it. So if you want to check it out, it's from Yen Press. And
wait, are the mermaid ones?
Yeah, that's the mermaid horror manga, where the mysterious new girl, turns out to be a mermaid, and she's lured in by the main protagonist's sounds weird when I say it, scent. And usually these monsters want to eat humans. That's what she wants to do. But she figures, hey, let's butter up this human like a turkey and savor the thing, so that whenever I do consume her, she'll be extra delicious. That sort of mentality. So she becomes her friend and helps her with traumas and stuff of her childhood. because she's an orphan, if I remember correctly. But yeah, James, my man, there you go. There's the video right there if you want to check it out.
Cool.
I talked about that. Look at that. It was a mermaid extravaganza. I talked about A Sinner of the Deep Sea, Monster Wants to Eat Me, and Mermaid Prince, the anthology book. So that was a mermaid-tastic episode. I did want to point this out from H Field. I love the art for Smart and Courageous Child, but I read a review talking about how uncomfortable it made them. They felt it treated I don't know how to say the name. Yusuf's story as inspiration for Prawn, amongst other things. So I stopped myself from buying it. I don't know what any of that means, but that sucks.
Well, I'll have to.
I mean, I do know what it means. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I don't know the context.
I've been looking forward to reading it and have read more like positive about it than not. So I'll have to report back after I read it, hopefully within the next week. Because the way that I read my to read pile is I start from the publishers that I have the least from and go to the most. And so Tokyo Pop will be one of the first ones that I do. So hopefully by next week, before I go off on my winter vacation, I'll be able to come back and say something about that.
Right. Speaking of controversy, I'm not going to talk about it, but I can't pass up the opportunity to at least mention it about that controversial manga that showed up on the internet that got a lot of people talking, and it made charts.
Dude, I just like the fact that the last thing I saw someone posted, it was like number 4 on Manga Plus.
It's insane.
Like it was above like Dandadan was the last thing I saw, and I was like, man.
If you want to lose your faith in manga readers, do not go into the comment section in Manga Plus for that manga. You will come out extremely disappointed by the community. What am I talking about? Well, I'll say it. Whatever. What's the full name of the
Drama Queen?
Drama Queen. And yeah, Drama Queen. So it caused a stir because of the not so explicit undertones for that story. I'm not going to do first impressions on it. I don't care for it. I know what it's about, and I don't want to talk about those things. I don't care for it. But you can find out on socials about it.
They're not even undertones; they're overtones at this point.
Right.
I didn't read the whole thing, but like I read several of the excerpts that people were showing because I didn't. That was the whole reason I was like, I'm not gonna just read this to check it out because everyone's talking about it. Because I don't want to give it that view or whatever on the app.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever I saw people posting screenshots, and it's like it's extremely explicit that what those themes are and like what's being gone for in this. So you don't really need to read much more than the first several pages to understand what the issue is. But it's just extremely xenophobic, and I know there's people trying to defend it as like being something else, but it's like unless the author has a giant bait and switch planned for the series really soon, it's just kind of weird to see something like that come out in the big old year of 2024, almost 2025.
My thing with that manga is if the mangaka intends to make this a story where the main characters are wrong and bad, and that will be shows as the story goes. Apparently, they haven't expressed it well. The author is Kuraku Ichikawa. They've done some work that I'm not too familiar with, so I'm not going to check it out. But it's out there if you want to check it out. Make up your own mind on it. Go for it. So that was just a heads up, because typically I do cover the new stuff that gets put out on Manga Plus, because that's a fun show idea for us to stream here. But I wanted to skip that one. Instead, I'm bringing you some really disturbed shit for tonight's broadcast, especially considering these are shonen manga, which are typically aimed for teens and kids. So this is really messed up for the demographic, I will say. Before I do that, we have one solicit that I wanted to get your opinion on. Let me share my screen here. We're going to go to Anime News Network, friends of the show. It was reported recently, and I don't think we talked about it. Suehiro Maruo's Beautiful Monster manga is getting an English release. Did you hear about this one?
From what publisher?
Bubbles Zine?
Yeah, I have one thing from Bubbles. That's cool.
Comes out announced November 16th. Ryan Holmberg is translating the manga. 16 short comics from Japan's master of erotic horror. Stories are from 1981 to 1983, plus a story from 2000. This is Maruo Suehiro's first book, translated into English in nearly 12 years.
I think shoot, one of our regular viewers asked about if there were any Maruo Suehiro books coming out soon. He asked like a week or two ago.
Really? You
Yeah,
got a better memory than me. I don't remember this at all.
and the reason why I remembered was because immediately after, because that was the very end of the show, and it was a week where like we were like done, and he came in and was like, "Before you go, one question." I was like, "Ah, shit! Like we're almost done, and I really got to go." And it was like not a very like quick to answer. It was
Oh.
like giving. It was can y'all talk about Kazuo Umez, because Umez had just died, and I was like, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm having a blank, and I'm assuming that he's not in the chat tonight, but
Probably not.
if I'm not mistaken, he asked about any. No, it wasn't Cycle Cleveland.
No, but Cycle is excited for this one because he tagged me on a post asking about it on Jess's Discord.
But he asked, I believe it was about any Maruo Suehiro in English, and I said no, not that I can think of. Like I don't know if it was like if anything is already out, if there's anything. There you go. Yeah, next to Magic. You did ask that, right? You did ask about. So this is kind of ironic, I guess, that it happened now a couple weeks later. But the reason I hung on to that was because I remembered, if I'm not mistaken, I have something. Let me hold on. I'll be right back.
Go for it.
My wall.
So this Last Gasp Publishing released Maruo's Strange Tale of Panorama Island back in 2013. So it's been a minute since we've had anything from Suehiro. So I wonder if it's erotic horror. How this is gonna sound weird saying it on the stream, but I think we're mature enough to discuss this. How horrific and how erotic are we talking about? Because I don't mix the two, and this image right here is not saying like erotic horror. Like what? Okay. So if somebody out there is more knowledgeable, do let me know. Let's see. I have no desire to contribute. Oh, to the other manga, to its ranking, just in case. It's just right wing nonsense. The comment sections are vile, and I just shook my head. I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna engage with this. I got better stuff to do. So the ones that I did read are pretty messed up. I mean, it's not the craziest thing in the world when I say messed up, because there are manga more hardcore than that. But considering it's for teens and kids, like, whoa, it's kind of messed up. I'll get to that in a second. Go ahead, Riley.
So I was mistaken. I thought that I did have something from him in my collection, but I think I just recognized the name because Hollow Press, I believe, published something of his in the past. In the past being the not too long ago past, but on their website, the only thing under their section for him is an art print and a page from Dancing Isunboshi. and both of those are sold. So there's nothing available right now. But I swear to God that they had something that they published of his.
It's it says here Blast Books published the manga's one compiled volume in North America for Shoujo Tsubaki, or Mr. Arashi's Amazing Freak Show. I don't remember that book.
But I'm thinking of something different. Oh, here. Okay. Maybe
Maruo ended Tomino no Jigoku in November of 2018, and Last Gasp published Panorama Island in 2013.
maybe
Maruo's Angura, abbreviation for Underground, ended in March 2023. I don't know.
Maybe I had something from Last Gasp, and I was thinking Last Gasp, but instead, I swear to God, there's something that Hollow Press published of his. Maybe I'm wrong, but I swear that they did, and it was after that stream. I was like, wait a second, and it was before I had everything set up, so like I couldn't check because those books were literally like on a shelf behind a bunch of boxes. But now I have everything set up, so I can look, but like I just didn't see it in my collection, so I was like, maybe I don't have it. Maybe I just thought I had it.
Interesting. Gio, also sorry, joined the stream late. Have you also discussed Pat Mills' announcements and samples for the manga adaptation of his and Requiem Vampire Night? I did not know about this. This is brand new info. Next Imagine. Is there a link that I can visit? I can highlight it before we end the stream. So yeah, that happened. That's cool. Shout out. Let me remove this for a second. And I believe that's the only announcement so far for any new manga that's coming out, but it's pretty cool. We're getting some erotic horror in our lives. And these were funny. I wasn't going to talk about them tonight, but why not? Do you remember City from Keiichi Araoi?
Yeah, isn't this the second time that he's come back to a series that was long over? He did that with Nichijou, right?
Right, yeah. So City returns after 3 years. Holy crap. Vertical now Kodansha published the entire series in English. The manga is also available on the K Manga service. And he's publishing more stuff. The manga will return 3 years after it ended in the magazine's next issue on December 12th. And speaking of old manga returning, I don't know if you saw this one too, Law of Ueki, which has a large fan base. It's they're publishing a new one-shot chapter this Wednesday after how many years? It's been a long time, right? Since 2007 when it ended.
But is the one shot related to the Law of Ueki, or is it
just the first the magazine? Launch a new manga the magazine. That's not really the manga. Oh, I thought it was part of the issue. Also published Law of Ueki exhibition, the first new chapter of Law of Ueki manga in 16 years. Oh, I might have confused the two. Okay, my bad. I thought it was like a new Ueki chapter, but damn, okay.
New Eki,
the next New Eki Shippuden. But yeah, that's pretty wild. Let's see. Let's close this. Let me talk to you guys about the new manga that I read and why I think they're disturbing as AF, as the Gen Zers use. The first one that we're going to talk about is this one, Asura's Verdict. This is written by Utsugi Unohana. I have no idea who this creator is. I don't think they've worked on anything aside from this. The description says, only do good deeds. Asura follows his late mother's teachings and always strives to do good in life. No matter how much he is bullied, he goes on with a smile, firmly believing that evildoers will receive divine punishment, until one day, an ominous old man offers him a key that can open the doors to hell. So, long story short, I don't think I can't show most of what's in here. I'll show you the art in a minute. This has a parental advisory warning because there is like bullying and animal abuse in this first chapter. So I wanted to point that out for anybody interested in reading it. The main character unfortunately lost his mother, and his mother always said, like, you only do good deeds, you will be rewarded, and divine punishment comes to those that do bad stuff. And I guess the manga takes on that literally. And the main character, whenever he sees somebody doing something bad, he's like, "Oh, you're gonna get punished for that." And we've known, unfortunately, that it always doesn't always happen. Or if there is a divine punishment, sometimes it takes an unexpected twist, and it might happen at some other time. It's not like you stole something and you're going to get struck down right there. But this character believes that to be the case. So he gets bullied at school, and the bullies are horrific. One of the characters, should I describe it? Because it's pretty messed up. I'll do it anyways. I apologize in advance. It's pretty messed up in the head. The leader of the gang that's bullying the main protagonist, he is a sadist and likes to take things apart. And at one point, he is ripping up a butterfly, and loves, like a serial killer, loves to see the intricate nature of body parts and how everything works and stuff like that. So he's pretty messed up in the head. That escalates into something else that's pretty effed up. And Asura gets the snot beat out of him. And on a particular day, he's strolling through town and he's thinking, like, yeah, I got my ass got kicked, but they'll get their punishment in due time. And he's trying to just shake it off. And his grandmother is barely hanging on. She's kind of losing it, senile, maybe dementia, stuff like that. So one particular day, I don't know if it's raining or not, so it's all moody. He spots between buildings in an alley this old man sitting on top of some things, like a wandering traveler, that sort of thing, where they have like wooden carts and stuff. And the old man offers the kid a key, a literal key, and says that if, like, oh, it's good that you can see me. That's great. If you use this key, all you have to do is thrust it into the person's forehead and twist one time. And that will literally send them to hell. And the main character doesn't believe him. So he's like, nah, yeah, all right, sure, old man, whatever. Something really messed up happens that is why we're getting the trigger warnings here. And Asura just breaks and decides, you know what? If the divine punishment's not going to happen, maybe it's that I'm supposed to be the messenger for the divine punishment. So the key suddenly appears. So I guess he signs the contract. I don't know. So he picks up the key and uses it on the main bad guy, the bully. And literally the gates of hell show up, and the guy gets dragged into hell and is tortured in the same manner that he tortured animals, which is fitting for that guy. And so now I guess he's going to become like a Kira Death Note type Avenger in the streets of Japan. I don't know. So that's how it ends. This is messed up for kids to read. I'm sorry. Like, I don't want a kid to read, like a preschooler to be like, oh, let me pick up this book or whatever, or an elementary school student. I'm like, oh, animal abuse and sending people to hell. All right, that's cool. That's cool. Let's do it. But I'm intrigued. I'm interested because this is giving me Death Note vibes, but without Ryuk or L. So I can show you a little bit of the art. See, the story contains sensitive materials that may be distressing to some readers. Reader discretion is advised. Obviously, this is the one I used for the thumbnail. Why not? I can agree with you on that, Gio, but I'm intrigued for this thing. Read it. I'm probably being like old-fashioned boomer manga reader here. I don't know. I'm not down with the youths. I'm not in that world. I don't know what they read, man. I don't know. Here's the character. And there he gets bullied. Unfortunately, we might get yellowed for this, but whatever. For the sake. See, this is what I meant. He's pretty messed up. And he does something else that I was not a fan of. Let me remove myself here for a minute so I can scroll down. This is his mom. Rest in peace. Sweet lady. He gets bullied at school as well. Right there. You can see that. And eventually when he meets the old man, it's this thing right here. I don't know what to call this wooden shrine altar thing that he's sitting on. So you could say he's sort of like a Ryuk type character, a Shinigami. Right there. He offers him the key, which will send everybody to the fiery depths of hell. And let me show you the hell part, because why not? Scroll. Yeah, this is pretty messed up. Nope. So he gets beat up, and this is slight spoilers, I guess, for the end of the chapter. Here's the gate of hell. Looking pretty gnarly, if you ask me. And yeah, it gets sent to hell, because why not? Shout out. So that's one, which I think no, I get it. I completely understand. I will never read that manga. Yeah. I want to. I'm intrigued to see if they show like different areas of hell or punishments, or if what route they go with, like Asian mythology or Judeo-Christian. I'm interested in that stuff, so I'll keep reading, and I will report back eventually if it does get more disturbing. So that is one of the two manga. The other one is even more messed up. This one is Ryota killed his brother. This is a title right there. This made the rounds on manga Twitter land because people were sharing panels from this. This is by Ayumi Natori. Again, I don't know this creator at all. When their mother dies, junior high school student Ryota takes care of his toddler brother Chika and their home. Overwhelmed by all the work, he begins neglecting himself. Without any time to himself, Ryota comes to resent his little brother, and soon the resentment turns into murderous thoughts. Little by little, the pressure of child rearing make Ryota lose his mind, but is Ryota truly the issue? Or ... So basically, think Summer Hikaru dies, but not as cosmic-y, more spooky. Ryota was a promising young student, and now he's not, and this is stressing him out because his mother died, and his dad is always away at work, so he's left to take care of Chika. Chika is a handful. Like, he gets violent with Ryota, and whenever Ryota is about to lose it, Chika's like, "Don't hate me," and Ryota buckles under the emotional weight and says, "I could never hate you. You're my brother," and gives him a hug. And his one friend at school, he's pretty popular, so it was nice to see the contrast of having a popular kid hanging out with the main protagonist and not being a jerk about it. But they're friends, and he's worried about Ryota. So at some point, he decides to take action and see if he needs help, because he's just zoned out outside from school and just wants to take care of his brother, and that's it. And at home, Ryota, you start noticing weird things like odd shadows, the character of Ryota will say some odd things, and at some point, he even bites Ryota in the back, so he has a huge bruise, like jaws from a creature or something like that. And yeah, and it's super intriguing. So without revealing too much, Ryota does the unthinkable and just decides to get rid of his brother because he can't. It's too overwhelming. But then a couple panels later, everything's fine and the brother's there. So you don't really know what's happening. And this gets repeated time and time again. And there might actually be either something demonic or cosmic-y about the younger brother. I'll leave it at that. But this one is really good. Try to push past the content warning there and know that it's not actual depiction of child murder. It's more like creature horror manga. I'll just say that much. But I did enjoy it a lot. The twist was unexpected. Let me show you some of the art. Again, with a content warning. There. So you think this is going to be super wholesome. And for the most part, there are some wholesome scenes, but no. I thought this was... Nobody laughed at this, but I did because I'm weird. They're talking about a English exam. And I only got dog. I don't know why, but that made me laugh when I read it. You got the wrong answer. Let me scroll down. You can see some of the characters here. And the brother, homie's just exhausted. And the brother is right here. Extremely adorable. I wanted to put up a really messed up panel from this manga as the thumbnail, but then I thought, maybe YouTube won't like that because it's a child. And I backed off. I put the other image that you see now. Let's see. Oh, I know. I can show you this. This is the one scene where I saw this and thought, oh, okay, this is something interesting. It's special. Let's see. The dad is saying, sorry, taking care of him must be hard. I can't thank you enough. And homie says, I get it. You're so busy with work. Leave Chi to me. He doesn't get on with you anyway. Wails whenever you hold him. Yeah, that's true. Night, Dad. Good night. Good night. I hate sleeping with Chi, he's thinking. And this is what made me think like, all right, this is going to be interesting. I'm down for this. Hell yeah. So this goes back to, we were talking about 80s movies. This is like super straight out of body horror 80s horror movies. Yeah. I don't want to reveal the other stuff because it's pretty cool. But there is some content warning, obviously, because of what he's trying to do with the younger brother. I like the art. WTF. I don't think I'm going to read that manga either. I completely get it, Kane. It's not going to be for everybody. But that's why I said it's disturbing, because these are shonen manga. If this was like a seinen, I'd be like, yeah, okay, cool, whatever. I get it. So, I don't know. What do you think?
I'd check both out, but I'm a big horror fan in general. But they both seem to have intriguing concept behind them.
Yeah, so I do recommend them. Again, you can read them for free on the Manga Plus website. And like I always say, if you keep up with them week by week, you can read them for free and support the mangaka and the industry and all that stuff without having to resort to scans and stuff. So there you go. Ryota killed his brother. Shout out. Okay. Hey, I'm not the only one. Let's go. I laughed at the dog line. The dad in these scenes just seems like he doesn't do shit to help. Yeah, no, I noticed that. Like, dude's like, man, I'm sorry that you have to do this. All right, peace out. I'm gonna go to work. I'm gonna leave unsupervised kids taking care of each other. Fine, that's fine. Cool. And the other one, yeah, it is like the Bleach Hell movie where they do show the gates. Yeah, so there you go. It's 2 disturbing reads. Do you have any disturbing shonen reads that you can recall off the top of your head?
Shonen, I isn't uh what's it called? Dark Gathering, a shonen title?
That's a shonen book, yeah.
Um that one has a lot of pretty disturbing imagery.
Did you read the one about the geisha in Dark Gathering?
I don't remember.
And I think it's in the more recent volumes that came out, like volume 8 or 9 or something.
Then I believe I have.
And the one with the soldier, the World War II soldier, that was pretty messed up too.
Yeah, that one sounds more familiar.
If you watch the anime for it, it's gonna get disturbing because the acting for the evil spirits is well done, and it can get a little creepy when you're watching it.
Yeah, I can't think off the top. I know that a lot of Junji Ito's work is like in every demographic category.
Right.
So he has a lot of stuff that is in shonen and shoujo and seinen, and I don't know if he has anything that's officially in josei, but josei isn't really much of a thing in Japan. It's more something that we push here, but
yeah.
But there's a lot of Ito that's in the younger demographics.
You know what's pretty disturbing, and it's super old, but one of my all-time favorite books. If you think about it, the yokai depicted in Gegege no Kitaro can be quite disturbing. And Mizuki did not shy away from showing you the horrific next to the goofiness. Like when you see monsters like that, it's pretty scary, I think.
Some of Ume's books are also. Let me
Look at that. Pretty iconic image right there. One of my favorite Gegege no Kitaro stories. If you don't want to track down the book, you can watch the anime. They've adapted it multiple times. It's the Hell Train storyline, where this guy boards the train and he doesn't know that it's a ghost train. Mm-hmm. And on his way to hell, spoilers, he gets the sentencing and the judgment of what he's done as a pretty shitty worker in corporate Japan. And towards the end, like he gets dropped off to hell, and it's not too good for him. I thought that one was pretty messed up. And the anime did a really good job of making it feel like you're watching like a high budget horror episode movie. I don't know if this one, I think it's in here in this book.
I was just looking real quick, but pretty much everything by Kazuo Umezu that we have in English is shonen, except for Shingo.
Shingo. Look at that. It's pretty disturbing. I mean, you see that? I'd be freaked out. Be like, oh, the world's ending. Great. Moon has an eye now.
Majora's Mask style.
Majora's Mask. So, yeah. So there you go. 2 disturbing reads. There probably are some others. If you guys know of any, let us know in the comment section down below. Let's give a shout out to our sponsor. Once again, thank you for making this broadcast happen. These books that we mentioned and our hauls, you can grab at instocktrades.com, your destination for collected editions. You get your omnibus, trade paperback, hardcovers, manga, and more for great discounted prices that range from 42 to 55% off as of late. Free shipping in the US at $50 or more, and there's a loyalty discount which adds an extra 2% discount to your order if you make it on a week-by-week basis. Great packaging, wonderful customer service. That is instocktrades.com, our wonderful sponsor. Again, remember the gift card giveaway at some point during the month of December. It could be tomorrow. It could be Monday. It could be next Thursday. Who knows? You're going to have to tune in. You never know when that's going to happen. Our previous winner, KC, is in the chat. So shout out, KC. So thank you, everybody, for all of that. Insufferable Omnibus Collector, what do you have going on? Where can people find you on the internet? You're not here with us.
Well, I mentioned it on Twitter, and I actually just got back on TikTok because of this, and I mentioned it there. And I alluded to it earlier here, but my manga collection is all up now. So the library, I'll give you all a quick. So here's a 360 of the library, and then the rest of it is in the media room.
Look at that, sexy! I love it.
So that's
oh, now I'm dizzy.
Tokyo Pop, Square Enix, and a bunch of other stuff. These shelves are this one and this one are Yen Press and Eyes Press, from the floor to the ceiling, and then starting here and going all the way to that first shelf,
Right,
all the way to here is Viz Shonen Jump, and then Viz Signature is here and here, and then Shoujo Beat and Viz Shoujo, and then this is the Shonen Sunday, and then all the other Viz media is over here, and then
I assume the middle one is the creator stuff, like the previous collection, right? Yeah.
This I put Toriyama on the top,
Nice.
here on the back side, which I would like to do a little bit of adjusting right there, but I wanted to put him in there alphabetically. Doesn't make sense because I have it should have gone down below before the Tezuka section, or after the Tezuka section, but I didn't have enough space, so I moved him all the way to the top to make sure I have room. So at the bottom there is Urasawa. Then Tezuka is pretty much this entire second shelf, and then Rumiko Takahashi is about 1.5, or actually almost 2 entire, from the beginning here with the short story volumes: Urusei Yatsura, Mesanokoku, Mermaid Saga, Ranma 1/2, One Paladin Gospel, Inuyasha, and Rinne. There's a small Jiro Taniguchi or Jiro Taniguchi section, and then we have Welcome Back Alice, and then the rest of the Shuzo Oshimi section.
Nice.
Going all the way over here, and then Natsume Ono, and then on the other side we have, move the chair out of the way, the Yu-Gi-Oh statues at the top. I left a space for Red Eyes whenever that one finally comes out, but this is actually the beginning of the section. Would be what's her name, Hiromu Arakawa with Akame and Silver Spoon, and then I've got the Inio Sano section, and then I don't like, the only reason Toru Fujisawa is here is not because I love him as a creator, but because I didn't have space on the Tokyo Pop shelf. Because there, I wanted to have all of the GTO together.
Right.
So GTO, early years, Shonen Junai Gumi, GTO, and then Vertical published 14 Days in Shonen, and then I just got the rest of the stuff of his that was published in English: Rose Hip Rose, Rose Hip Zero, and Toko. Then one of my favorite sections being the Inoue section.
Nice.
This fantastic looking art book. Then we got Slam Dunk and Vagabond, Real, and then the Ito section goes all the way down to here. Got the art book there.
Heck yeah, that's very sexy. Thank you.
We've got a whole Kazuo Koike section. And that one ends down here where I have next Taiyo Matsumoto and Tsutomu Nihei at the bottom there.
Friend of the show.
Yes. And that's the creator shelf right now. I did have Araki on there, but there wasn't enough room, so I moved all of JoJo's up
to the top there, where I will never be able to touch it.
How are you going to reach? Do you have a ladder for that?
Magic.
Okay.
That's as high as I can reach on my own. And it's all the way up there. So JoJo's is at the top, and then this whole line right here is One Piece. That's the Grand Line.
That's the Grand Line.
So I have the One Piece with the 3 color walk that have come out, are all the color walk compendiums, I should say, are all up here. And aesthetically, I really liked putting outward facing like art books and stuff like that. So I think previously the only one that I did that with was Inoue, with the Slam Dunk one that has Hanamichi like that. And so when I was putting all of this up, I was like, I want to do more of those because it's such an eye catcher when people come over, or if I'm making videos. Like, it's so nice to have these outward facing things. So now I put out, like, any of the art books that I have, I try to put out facing outward. Like on the back side, I have the Dragon Ball art book for the Toriyama section. And it also means that I have artificial space that I filled up, but I can turn those books inward and have more room for stuff later. So while I would prefer not to do that, while I would prefer to keep everything facing outward, I can turn them in when I need to and not have to move as much stuff around. So we'll do a full tour. And then, like I said, out in the media room, that's Kodansha, Seven Seas, Dark Horse, and all of the small publishers. I have all the really small ones on one big shelf. But those are all out there. And I'll do a full tour. The plan was to wait until I got the additional extensions, because as you can see, there's like one layer of extensions higher on that. Right. The rest of the room, I need extensions all the way around to go up to the top, and that's mostly aesthetic. But that's what I wanted to do before I do the video, but I kind of want to put the video out before the end of the year, and I don't think I'll be able to buy all of those until the beginning of next year, maybe.
Right.
So we'll see what happens. But now that I've finished this, the whole point of giving y'all a little sneak peek of this is to say that I will be able to get. I had a kind of a time constraint on getting this done, and so that's why I wasn't able to get the November buyer's guide video or anything out in November. But now that this is done, I'm working with James as usual, and he's been helping me to get all those slides together but I'm going to do November and December in one big video. So I'll do that, and then I'll also do the big reveal of the new library pretty soon. And like I said a little bit ago, I'm also once again making content on TikTok. So if there's any specific series that you would like me to highlight, you can ask me on TikTok and I'll make a video as soon as I can. Or if there's anything that you're curious if I have it, you can ask me over there and I'll put it down, whether it's something that I alluded to in here or something that is from one of the other publishers that I didn't show. Just ask. I'm happy to. I'm trying to get the ball rolling over there, and that's the best way to do so, is just replying to people's requests and stuff. So this month it'll be a little bit busy for me, but hopefully I can get back into the swing of things so we can start 2025 off on a good foot. And you can find me at all those places at the Omnibus Collector, Twitter, Omni Collector, and Blue Sky, omnibuscollector.bluesky.social.
There you go. Nice. So everybody go check that out. And
what about you? What are you working on?
I just put out the my monthly most anticipated manga releases video. So if you want to check that out, I talk about like 23 new volume 1s, plus one box set. And I was supposed to put out a video today or tomorrow, but I couldn't record. I have everything ready. It's just I needed to do the voiceover thing, and I did not. So I will try and get that on Monday. And I don't know. You can find me on social media, I guess, and we can chat about random stuff. Blue Sky, Threads, and Twitter. Just search for Manga Geekdom over there. Random idea, but it would be cool to see y'all pack battle Pokemon cards. I still have my cards. You do not, right?
No, I sold everything.
Right.
I sold literally all of them. I have some Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and I have some One Piece cards, but I don't have any Pokemon.
I kept everything because I want to get. I'm not gonna get to collecting any of the sets because it's just too much. Like you'll get like 10 different sets per year. It's insane. I can't keep up with that. Nor does my wallet want to keep up. So I'm just going to focus on what I have, and I'm going to try and complete those sets. Right now, the last one I was working on was what was it? It was with Lugia in the cover. Lost Origin, something. One of those from like 2 years ago. So I'm trying to finish that. I bought a binder and everything, so I'm trying to get those whenever I feel like it. No rush. Just a little side project for me.
I tried, and you know that
Right, yeah.
I got sucked back into it for a little bit, but like you said, there's so many sets that come out every year, and I didn't realize that when I started because I was like, oh, this is the set that just these are the old ones, and this one just came out, and then I realized the old ones were like 2 months, 3 months, like
not that old.
They weren't that old, and so I got in there, and it was like boom, 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 like set after set after set. And while I was still trying to pick up stuff from one, they were coming out with the next one, and then they would start coming out with like a special, those packs that come with multiple those boxes that come with multiple packs, plus like a promo, plus a pin, and it would be like for the set from like 2 or 3 sets ago, and I'm like, I thought we moved on from this one, and they're still releasing more for the. So it got to the point eventually where I was like, I can't keep up with this, and it's really too expensive for me to try to, and so I unloaded everything at once and got a few, I think I got like $600 or something for everything. That's fine. I definitely
that's pretty good. Yeah.
Whatever.
I want to promote, however, TCG Pocket is a fantastic mobile game. If you're, it's free to play. You can spend money on it, but you don't. I've not spent a single dime on it, and I'm having a blast playing it. And you can get cards and build decks and fight, and it doesn't push you like to buy stuff. If you want to collect everything and have all the premium items, that's on you. You can buy those. So I like that aspect a lot for the game, and that's why I promote it. It's a fun one. So if you wanna play that, I highly recommend it. Again, it's free. You got nothing to lose, and I've been enjoying that. So I do recommend it. If you don't want to buy the cards and stuff, but you still are interested in Pokemon TCG, that's a nice alternative. Here's my Discord link if you want to join. Here's Omnibros Collectors Blue Sky if you want to follow. Here's my Blue Sky if you want to follow. Lots of blue skies out there. Amazing stream tonight. Not so much on the horror manga. Sorry. Take care, everyone, and have a good night. See you tomorrow. Maybe, probably. Yes. So we will be back on. We'll be back tomorrow. Not us, but the rest of the Omnibros crew. And then we'll be back on Monday for Hall's Previous Reads, and we do it all over again. So have a great night, everybody. Stay safe. For us, at least. Have a great weekend. God bless. Stay safe. Bye-bye. And see you next time. Let me close this out with... Where is it? Godzilla. There we go.